Religion has its good sides and its bad sides. It has blessed many people, and many people find it a curse. Me? I think it's a personal journey to your best self and has no place in governance at all. We left that crap behind with muskets. What the heck am I talking about? Well, politics and religion have been a fated pair that appears in historical record a lot, and in pretty much every single instance, with very few exceptions, if any, it's had varying degrees of failure. And I mean all over the world. I mean, from the Holy Roman Empire to the modern day Middle East. Apparently, God seems to have an opinion outside of his general message about how we should gather and govern ourselves. You know, just as an aside, I grew up in a Christian household, and I feel like it's worth pointing out that Jesus Christ was not only an actual historical figure, but he wasn't a political leader, nor did he pick political leaders, nor did he show any interest in politics. To me, it seems vaguely important that the answer to the question how Jesus would run the country is most likely that he wouldn't. And yet, we're about to be besieged by the opinions of a legion of Christian nationalists claiming to follow the word of God and that they're going to be working in the government. It begs the point that no one religion is wrong for governing because they're all pretty much incompatible with effective governing altogether. Diversity also presents a problem. I mean, one single perspective, especially based on faith, it doesn't account for morality amongst the general will of the people. I mean, no matter what God you pray to, if any, you still need food, shelter, healthcare, access to education. I mean, every major religion is abundantly clear about how important resources are. And the idea should be a populace governed by secular values, giving opportunity and public space for those improving their circumstances and contributing to the community at large, with religion being a private matter. It doesn't matter what religion you follow, as long as you also follow the law. Laws are kind of like a secular religion that applies to all of us, regardless of our initial faith. Putting religion in the realm of politics, it just serves to exclude. And ironically, it's the opposite of the intention of faith. Millions of people have millions of ideas, and a single idea can't effectively govern all of them unless that idea eschews the details of faith and focuses on what we share instead of the details that divide us. In other words, pretty much how the United States came into existence, at least ideologically. And it is interesting that the country's founding fathers had the presence of mind to know that religion was a barrier to effective governing, even though there were other things they overlooked. Most of us grew up in a world full of secular nation states. I mean, if you were born in the second half of the 20th century, that's absolutely true. And that foundation has support that it will be the future of political involvement. Some zealots disagree, and some of them are going to try to carve up the legal code we've all agreed to already. But we all know instinctively to fight against those forces. The fact of the matter is that religion can serve to disrupt the political process as much as it tries to uphold it. Case in point, there's a long history of laws and legislation in the United States being influenced by religious figures, whether it's Martin Luther King Jr. lobbying for the Civil Rights Act or modern Christian nationalists successfully getting Roe versus Wade overturned with their political pressure. But the bottom line is that in any case, I would argue that God has no place at the ballot box. I expressed this idea to some people that I know, and they tell me that I'm on the ball with it. So, I mean, even when you look at it from a personal perspective, it seems odd, very odd, at least to me, that a question of your faith would somehow determine what kind of life you're supposed to live. Because I would argue, in any regard, that having faith is a qualifying feature, not only of you being in a civilized society, but of you being human. Because that's the really essential aspect that causes people to want to put those things together, that both religion and politics are universal. But they stand at the opposite ends of the spectrum of what is needed for the people. Our governments are designed to take care of our communities. Our religion is designed to take care of ourselves. So, all I know about religion and politics is that to me, it really boils down to something I like to call the pizza and ice cream paradox. There may be another word for it. I'll find out in the future. But right now, what I attest to it is that they're the kind of things that separately, they're perfectly fine. But together, it makes for something just not good and not pleasant and not a good experience for just about everyone. And there are lots of things in our culture that meet that criteria, the aforementioned pizza and ice cream. But to me, religion and politics stands as the most stark realization of this concept. Religion is good for the self, politics is good for the community, and they should stay separate and apart from each other. And I think if we do that, we can actually get close to creating a utopia style government to govern the people. Because the only thing we would ever have to do, the only thing that we would ever owe to ourselves, is the ability to make whatever is at stake improved upon and better. Religion and politics don't mix. That may have been the order of the past, far in the past, but we are not far in the past. We are in their veritable future. And I'm willing to wager that if those people were alive today to see how we progressed the concepts that they started, I think they'd be kind of disappointed because they think that we should have changed things up by now. And I just want to remind people that there's some people that want to go back to those ways. So be careful. And just remember that God is important to you, but God isn't necessarily important to us.